In John chapter 21, verse 21, verse 1, John says, after these things, Jesus let himself be seen again by the disciples at the Sea of Tiberias. And then he goes on to say, and this is how he did it. That's in the, I'm paraphrasing the Bible in basic English version. It says, in most versions, that he revealed himself. But to reveal oneself is to let yourself be seen. And I thought that was a kind of curious at first, and then just a beautiful thing. It says, first, after these things. What were these things? These things were their friend, their Lord, someone who didn't put in their face who he really was, the fullness of who he was, other than by living and revealing through his actions and the way he lived, that he was in fact their God, that they had seen crucified. And the things were, they saw him again as a living person, with the proof that it was in fact him, the one who had died for them. Those were these things. After those things, he continued to reveal, or to let himself be seen by them, while they were ostensibly going out and saying, well, we blew that one, let's just go fishing. That's an amazing thing. He does that. He does that to all of us. It wasn't just them. He's done it to you, he's done it to me, he's done it to all of us. And just think about that. Just pull out the Bible and look at that verse. Just stop right there. Just look at that verse in that context of all the things he'd already done. And here he was, letting himself be seen again. Now, I don't say that so you can be fearful that you don't respond in the proper way, that he'll stop letting himself be seen by you. I don't think that's something you should worry about. I suppose it's possible. I just take that to mean that there's no length to which he will not go to reach you, other than to lie or to embrace you while you reject him. But he's always there, and they were stumbling and struggling and trying to figure things out with all their heart, I'm sure. What's going on? What do we do? How do we live now? And thinking they're a failure and all that, and he just keeps coming at them. Children, got some breakfast here. Throw your nets on the other side. Those are all things of revealing himself. If you don't know the story, he was cooking some fish there, and they were out there on the water, and they didn't know that it was him. They just heard this voice saying, because they were fishing all night, and they got no fish, and he says, throw your nets on the other side. And they do, and they get all these fish, more than they can pull into the boat. So they have to drag the whole 9 yards onto the beach to get the fish. So he's revealing himself to us. And I know it's not always in that dramatic way, but he is revealing himself to you every day. That's the kind of God he is. And it's with patience, and it's with love, and it's with tenderness. That was patient and tenderness and kindness and long suffering. It was just maybe in a more dramatic way than we think. But really, if you look at your life and what you've been through, and what you're going through right now, and especially if you felt distance from him because religion has taught you that you're distant from him because he's ashamed of you. He's right there trying to let you know through little coaxing activities like this that he's not going anywhere. He's not going to force himself on you, but he's going to allow you to see him. He was allowing them to see him all along, and they didn't always see it, but he's very patient. He is very patient. He understands that there's an enemy, and he comes in all forms. The biggest form is probably religion. It's the world too. that blocks us, that lies to us, but it is that enemy that started off in the garden that functions in all these things, in the world, in the church system, blocking you, lying to you, telling you he's ashamed of you. He never said that. Not one time did he ever say that. Not once. Because if he did, that would have revealed something about him, that he's ashamed. But he's not. He never revealed to them that he was ashamed of them. Ever. Never. Not Peter. Not any of them. And that reveals something to you. And I just ask you to think about that. And that he does love us all. He's no respecter of persons. He's not willing that any should perish. He is revealing himself to all of us. Just like they didn't see it, we don't always see it. And there he is still. Until our eyes get open. Maybe they'll never get open. But he's still revealing himself to you. He's still allowing himself to be seen by you. If you would open your eyes and see. If you would choose not to believe the lies that you're being fed in the world and through traditions of men, like religions, denominationalism, all those things. He's right there. They had their issues with religion for sure. They were Jews. They believed a lot of things that Pharisees and other men told them. And he was just allowing them to see him and take it for what they would. Not demanding that they see him. Not shaming them for not seeing him in the proper way. Just letting them see him. And if they would be honest with themselves, then they could benefit from the fullness of seeing their God. And if they're dishonest with themselves, they can get that. Because that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. God offers himself to you. And if you want to insist that you're too dirty or whatever, when he never told you that, then that's what it'll be. You'll never have him. You'll never be in his presence by your choice. But if you believe him by what he's revealed to you, that he loves you, that he gave himself for you, and it has nothing to do with shame or any other religious concept, that it's just he offers his love for you, then you'll have him. You'll see him. You'll see him for who he is. Because it's the seeing him for who he is that changes you. And as John said, that when we see him fully as he is, we'll be like him. Because we don't see him full on. We catch glimpses here and there, and those glimpses change us. And that's the way it's supposed to be in this world. He chose to do it that way. He's changing us little by little in this world. And whatever needs to be done to complete that work will be done in that moment, in the blink of an eye, when you see him. But right now, it's supposed to be this way. You're supposed to struggle. You're supposed to be squinting and looking and seeking and searching. And he reveals himself to you. And it changes you. Shame doesn't change you. It's never changed anyone. It never will. Guilt doesn't do that. It serves its purpose. But it's not the purpose of God. The purpose of God is for you to see who he is. And let that change you. So, look. He is letting you see him. He is a kind God. He is a gentle God. He is a God that cooks breakfast and helps you when you're looking and working and striving, trying to make your way in this world. And he feeds you. He feeds your mind. He feeds your body. He feeds your heart and your soul. This good God, Jesus, your Messiah, your Lord, and everything. So open up your eyes and see him a little bit more. I like to think I see him a little bit more every day because of that attitude I have that he gave me. And that's the thought. In Jesus' name, amen.